obviously all the logistics during the training. But if you have any issues after assignments go out this afternoon or any other questions, feel free to reach out to me in regards to logistics of the competition. But anything with the innovation portal, you may see us, including Ryan and Elliot, in on that, since they're kind of our gurus as far as what goes on behind the scenes with the portal. But thank you again. We're really excited to have you.
All right, so I want to make sure I unmuted myself. So can you hear me, Tyler? I know you're in the chat. Oh, great. The earlier trainings were a lot bigger. I think people tend to just sign up for the first one, but we're very happy that you joined us here today. Each judge for this competition is incredibly valuable because we have to recruit as many judges as there are submissions to the competition, and so it's really important, the work you do. It allows the opportunity for students to get their work outside of their classroom. Oh, I see you did it last year, so you just need a refresher. All right, I'll make this really quick then, and feel free to make this interactive. Tell me to jump through points or just go visit something in particular. I didn't realize that you had done this last year, so we'll just go ahead and go really quick through this. Let's see, so outline. The time frame is important. So June 13th, you actually even might get the portfolios this afternoon. We have another training call this afternoon, and then we're going to be distributing portfolios. Hopefully this afternoon if everything runs smoothly, but you'll get them by tomorrow if we hit a bump in the road. And then the judging is due June 27th. We have a new email address from last year. There's now 2 staff members at PLTW, Ryan and I, working to support the innovation portal. And so both of us monitor this email address, innovation@pltw.org. It's especially useful. We can respond faster to you if you come to that address because of things like Ryan is on PTO today. So it's me covering it today so we can get a response and cover that for each other. So getting connected, the only weird thing about coming back as a prior judge, if you've worked in the past, is that you have to get connected to the new instance of the competition. So you were probably connected to the 2016 version of the competition. You'll have to redo that judging invitation piece for the 2017 competition, and you may have already done that. We can check when we dive into the innovation portal. And so you'll need to accept the invitation. That can either be through the email or through the innovation portal interface that I'll show you. All right, so portfolio, I think you're kind of aware of this, but students can make the portfolio with a lot of different students or their teams. They can invite their teacher to review, and then they can also invite project mentors to do the exact same review that you're going to be doing with the project mentors that help them throughout the school year. They're working on this for a whole school year. So they may have worked with project mentors and gotten feedback during their process. One thing that's changing this year is we may have opportunities for people that have judged portfolios in the past. If you will be getting a follow-up experience survey at the end of after June 27th when the judging window closes, just asking some experience questions, and then for feedback also to change the process, and then also you'll be asked a question: do you want to do any other volunteering opportunities? What that is there are some opportunities that come up when students want to work with a project mentor during the process of building their portfolios, and so we're inviting that. We're creating a list of potential mentors that might be interested in working with students throughout the entire school year. It's a little bit more involved and a little bit more of a flexible engagement because there may be different requirements for approval based on what school students are in and what the district policies are about connecting adults with students. But we want to create that list because we have requests from both sides, both from the student and teacher side and both from the project judge side, that they're interested in getting more involved. And so we'll have that opportunity available for you. And the thing to do is just click yes, and I'll follow on the experience survey, and I'll follow up with you afterwards if an opportunity comes up. More like when an opportunity comes up. So they can go to multiple competitions and opportunities. They can create multiple portfolios. You'll be getting a few. Well, actually, let's jump over to the innovation portal before we cover this slide. So boom. So login is the same. It's important that you give or gave Liz the same email address that you used last year. So if you haven't done this yet, you might want to check with her about which email you can get access to, and then tell her that exact email, and that will tie, when she sends the invitation, it'll tie the new competition to your old account. Let me go ahead and put this password in. So the first step is to log into the innovation portal. You get dumped on this screen, which is portfolios. You won't really use this much. You're logged in, great. So if you go to My Notifications, this is where you can accept the invitation. You may have already done this, but this is a notification window, and there will be a different one that is a invitation to judging, and so you can find the invitation here. You can find the competition in the opportunities page. As of Friday evening, the competition is no longer listed on the current tab here. There's two tabs, current and past, and there's actually no active competitions anymore. This is the last one of the season because we're pretty late in the spring and schools are mostly out. But we can look at all the ones from the prior year and clicking this past button, and you can see all the competitions that happened this year with the year label on them. So you'll be looking for the 2017 Wisconsin Engineering Design Competition. The 2016 version is no longer available. When the 2017 one rolled over to past, I eliminated the 2016 version, kind of archived it so it's not visible on the site. So you can click that. Not a whole lot has changed about the parameters of the competition from last year. Pretty similar. Students have been working on it the entire school year. They can either be an EDD or BI, which is the capstone course for Pathways Engineering or Biomedical Science for Project Lead the Way, and students have to be in 11th or 12th grade to be eligible for this competition. So all the details, information are on the right side about those windows for students. That is all past though, so we're past any sort of student window, and now we're in the judging window. So if we scroll down, you can see everything about the competition. So if you are a judge for the competition, there'll be a bar up here. You do not see the bar here because this account is not a judge for this competition. But we can jump over to another competition, and I can show you what that looks like for our training example. So if we go to past, scroll down to training example, you can see that now that I have this view and review. So this is the way to confirm that you're a judge. If you can see the reviews tab.
Yep, I can see that.
Yep, so you're good to go. So if you see reviews, then you're good to go. And you won't have any reviews actually there until we assign the reviews this afternoon or tomorrow. So if you see 0 of 0 here, you're good to go. You're already connected to the competition. This account has 3 of 3 completed here on this one. Another way to reach your reviews, which might be a little bit confusing if you had an account last year, is go to My Reviews, and then you can see every single review you've been assigned to do. That can be a review from last year. That could, if you work with a student group as a project mentor, they could assign you reviews. Those would live here, and then your new ones for this year will live here as well. So if we click one of these, we can go into it. Let's go to solar power one. We had active and complete tabs, so just take a look at those. You can see the complete ones. You can look back to the ones last year, and it may look like it can be evaluated. So if we click on to A, but there's no blue pen icon down here, and that's what we have to have the scores be available. You can review summary, and that will show you what you did last year for the portfolio. It's still archived and available, but for your new ones, you'll have to click one of the active tabs here. So let's go into solar power. So quick refresher on how to do this. There's one interface issue that is a little bit difficult sometimes for judges. This pop-up window over here is only the way to view the rubric. This is not assigning a score. You have a checklist here that's really handy to give you like an overview of what type of content is going to be covered. And then you have the buttons here with the score descriptors, kind of like a staircase. You can assign it 0 through 5. We do ask that if this tab is blank, go ahead and assign a score of 0, but again, you're not assigning a 0 here. So a 0, if you don't complete it, it's the same as a 0, but it tells us that you actually looked at it and clicked on it and didn't accidentally skip one of the letters. You have the scored element examples. I don't know if you used this last year, but it's really handy to know what a panel of judges in the past have decided that is a perfect example of that element and score descriptor. So you can scroll through this, and if you have any questions about what is it, a 4 or a 5, a 3 or 4, this gives you a lot of detail. So this is a 0, so not a great example, just a really not a great problem statement from some student work that was turned in. But we can jump back over here. Let's go into A, and let's say we want to assign this a score of 3. This is the way you actually assign the score, and this is the tricky interface thing. Sometimes judges forget that there's a blue icon down there. You can still see the score descriptors with a pop-up window here, but you can, let's say we decided this is 3, click that 3, it automatically saves, and then you can type in a comment. And we do ask that you put a comment in for each one. Last year there was research going on to study the consistency of the rubric, and we're not doing that. Research is concluded. Actually, a paper got written up about it, and the result was that it's very consistent except for some language that probably needs to be tweaked in a few elements just because the vocabulary used is not really clear for what it's referencing. But overall, very consistent tool for scoring if judges take a look at the rubric, read the score descriptors and score based on it. But the comments will help us this year by distinguishing between very high-placed portfolios. So we had a competition earlier where 4 portfolios were all within a point of each other at the end, and really what it came down to determine the winner was the judge comments to understand what the judges were thinking when they scored there on each score. That kind of shuffled the top 4 that were just like a razor thin margin between each portfolio. So the comments are really useful there. They also might go back to the teacher. We don't give them directly to students, but the comments might go back to the teacher depending upon the competition. So that's a call that Liz can make to distribute those out to teachers. So if we close that window, everything saves. If we click onto B, we can do each of these. So pretty much you do each of these. We can read that rubric. If it is blank, we ask that you assign score 0 except M and N. M and N doesn't have any, students can't load any content in here. It's actually, there's no blank area for students to do. So M is a holistic evaluation. So this is the presentation of all the other prior elements, A through L. So is N, except it's more of the writing style and writing like an engineer. These two also don't have the scored element examples because we didn't want to load an entire portfolio to set that up. So it's more of using your judgment and the score descriptors to score M and N based on the entire portfolio. When you're done, let's go ahead and click a few of these, just put some random scores in here. And when you're done evaluating these, you can click Complete Review. So we have a 3, 4, 5, those ones. It's a question mark if you haven't completed it. So if you see a question mark, make sure to go back. And if you meant to put a 0 in, that's fine. You can put a 0 or a score if you just kind of accidentally skipped one. The question mark is on the scoring side, on Liz's side, it's probably an indicator that someone forgot to click it. So make sure to click something in there to score.
Sorry, how did you get to this?
This screen, let me hit the back button. It's always available at the top up here, Complete Review.
Perfect.
And then so you can click each letter, and on each letter that's still available, Complete Review.
Awesome.
And so this is your shopping cart or like overall last chance to review it. You can see the score and you can see each comment for each element here. And if you scroll down, let's pretend all these are filled out. Once you click this Complete Review button down here, you can't take it back. We need judges to freeze in their scores at some point within the judging window. You can either choose to evaluate, you'll probably get 5 portfolios. You can either choose to evaluate all 5 at the same time and not click a Complete Review. It'll just look incomplete on our perspective, and at the last minute or the last day, click the Complete Review for each of them so you can kind of compare the 5 to each other, or you can just go through one at a time and reevaluate it and then Complete Review. I tend to go one portfolio at a time going through it because I use the scored examples as my baseline or comparison, not other portfolios, because we've had this in another competition earlier too, is that the portfolios you're assigned could be the top 5 portfolios or the bottom 5 portfolios. It really is a random process, and so sometimes judges get the lower performing ones, and they just consistently are going to be low scores, and so you don't want to artificially inflate them by comparing them to each other. Same with the top 5. You don't want to artificially suppress the score just because you're comparing the high performing ones to each other. So I use the same scored examples as a baseline. So last step is to click I understand, wish to complete the review, and then complete the review. Once you click that, can't take it back anymore, it's done. So the solar power one is complete, and it's at a status just like the ones last year. Yeah, it is better to judge against the rubric, and that's part of that research that we looked at the comments. The researcher doing it could read the comments and understand if they're referencing language from the rubric or bringing in outside criteria. And the judges that use the same language and reference stuff in the rubric were extremely consistent in their scoring, and so it's really important to go back to that rubric whenever doing any scoring. So we can see our review summary. We can still see all the student content here. We can see A, B, see all the student content, and then we can click that review summary again. So that's there. So that's pretty much required. We have a few resources for you that will shoot your way. You'll get a PDF step-by-step guide for judges, and that's really just like screenshots and click-throughs exactly how to access the portfolios. Probably the thing you'll need the most. A lot of this training is more about the rubric and how to understand the rubric too, which I skipped over because you've read it and done that last year. You'll get reflective questions from the portal. That gives you a quick summary content, kind of a summary of the rubric, and then the entirety of the ED-PPSR rubric, and that's a very large document. We're not really expecting you to read through that, but we provide it because some judges like to print that out and have the entire rubric next to their computer as they're doing the evaluation. I'm a little bit different. I have like 5 different monitors around my desk, and so I just put the rubric up on one monitor. So it's whatever you want to do. It's just more resources for you. We don't suggest using any Microsoft product for browsing. It may look like it's working, but there are components that are probably not working that you're not aware of, and you might find some bugs with it. So we suggest Chrome, Firefox, or Safari is what we test with on the Innovation Portal. Make sure it's up to date too with what is my browser. Judging window is the 13th through the 27th. Again, you may get those assigned this afternoon if everything runs smoothly. And then we ask that you have them done by the June 27th. If you know that you're not going to get some done by June 27th, we'd rather know earlier than later because we can engage some contingency plans and get those reviews assigned to someone else. It's just better to know in advance so that we're not scrambling on June 27th when we need to start ordering plaques and know what student group is winning the competition. So it just gives us a little bit more leeway. So if you're not going to get one of the reviews done or any of the reviews, just let us know earlier. Submitting on June 27th is okay, right, Liz? I think that's more of a Liz question. Is submitting on June 27th or before June 27th?
On June 27th. We'll start reviewing them on the 28th.
Okay. Yep. So I think, yeah, not that you plan to do them all last minute. That's fine. It's good to know the deadline. All right, so that is the training. I have recorded this, so you'll get a link from Liz probably by the end of the day, if I had to guess. You can fast forward and go to any point if you forget anything about it. But that's it. That's the training. Quick, short version of it. Do you have any other questions, Tyler?
Nope, that was perfect. Thank you very much.
All right. Do you have any closing comments, Liz?
No, again, thank you so much. It's great to have you back again this year, and do feel free to reach out to me if you need anything.
Sounds good. Will do.
All right. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Liz.
Have a good day.
Bye.